Hello guys, my name is Muhammad Ashraf bin Zubair. So I would like to share to all of you about behavioral accounting theory. So for the introduction, behavioral accounting is a branch of accounting that is related to behavior besides the accounting knowledge. It deals with the attitude and behavior of people when they are accounted with with an accounting phenomenon which determines the behavior that they will show in decision making. Behavioral accounting theory is an offspring from the union of accounting and behavioral science. It represents the application of the method and outlook of behavioral science to accounting problems, and the objective of the behavioral accounting is to understand, explain, and predict human behavior in accounting situation or context. Behavioral accounting attempts to correct and enrich traditional approach to accounting theory where preparer and user perceptions, attitudes, values, and behaviors are underemphasized. Some of the researchers define it as the application of behavioral science to accounting, with its basic objective being the explanation and prediction of human behavior in all possible accounting contexts. Accounting systems are often the most important formal sources of information in industrial organizations. So, behavioral accounting supporting the accounting system. They are designed to provide all levels of management with timely and reasonably accurate information to help them make decisions which are in agreement with the organization's goal. In behavioral accounting, the valuation of a company goes beyond the numbers and attempts to include the human factor. Behavioral accounting attempts to measure and record this aspect of a business. Behavioral accounting is of particular interest to scholars due to the influence of time constraints, accountability, judgment, and motivations in individual decision makers. So then we move to the advantages on behavioral accounting theory. So for the first one, the behavioral accounting theory aspect is that segment of accounting that attempts to develop an understanding of both cognitive, which is perceived, and affective, refers to the emotional element of human behavior that influence the decision-making process in all accounting contexts and settings. For the second one, the special area of accounting addresses such aspects as human information processing behavior, judgment quality, accounting problems that are created by users and providers of accounting information, and accounting information users and producers' decision-making skills. And the last one of the advantages on behavioral accounting theory is behavioral accounting was developed to make the behavioral effect of accounting practice transparent to potential and current stakeholders. This is done to better understand the impact the business processes, opinions, and human variables have on the value of overall cooperation now and in the future. So next we move to limitation on behavioral accounting theory. So for the first one, human factors is far more complex. This is because human is difficult to determine and may involve other factors that can't be controlled, such emotion and problem they face, and also phobia. The second one, just because people learn the practices and behaviors does not mean they will able to enact the theory properly. It is easy to learn why or how to do these behaviors, but knowing when to behave on one way or another and become adept in this behavior is a far more challenging task. A second weakness related to both behavior theory is adaptability. There is a lack of knowledge on how behavior theory can be used in various cultural contexts and situations. One behavior that works in one situation may not be universal enough to work in another situation. And the last one, no common framework within to develop useful generalization for policymakers. It is difficult to indicate if there is no guideline and standardization towards the application of behavioral accounting theory towards business or company perspective. Even the touch on attitude, culture and practice by company or what they possess, it still have no details in executing it. So we continue on adequacy of disclosure. So for the first one, the first this slide shows three approaches. Sorry, this slide shows approaches were used to examine the adequacy of disclosure if by using the behavioral accounting theory. So for the first one, the pattern use of data from the viewpoint of resolving controversial issues concerning the inclusion of certain information. The second examines the perception and attitudes of different interest groups. The third one, the extent to which different information items were disclosed in annual report and the determinant of any significant differences in the adequacy of financial disclosure among companies. Fourth, the research on disclosure adequacy and use showed general acceptance of the adequacy among financial statement recognition that there were differences in disclosure adequacy among financial statements are due to such variables such as company size, profitability, and size and listing status of the firm. And the last one for the conclusion on behavioral accounting theory, for the first one, financial reporting is to supply useful information to both actual and potential investors and the other users, as financial reporting is an important factor affecting in decision-making process. Behavioral accounting integrates human factors into accounting decision process to make sure and to include the behavioral effects transparent to potential and current stakeholders. On the other hand, behavioral accounting theory beyond the numbers attempt to include human factor in decision making. Human behavior, accounting system, and organism structure are main factors contribute to the behavioral accounting theory. And the last one, behavioral accounting is a branch of accounting that considers employee behavior in addition to traditional accounting knowledge, which deal with how the attitudes and behavior of employees or the other part of the companies that can be impacted by accounting decisions within a firm. So that's all from me. Thank you for paying attention, and I will end this presentation with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.